They do flower every now and then.
Another one of Susie's.
Norma Sharp.
Yeah.
An old Norma Sharp tree.
It's 34 years old.
34 years old. How long have you been looking after now?
5 years.
Your favourite tree?
It's the best.
Susan's talked with a number of people over the years, over those 5 years, about what to do with this root.
Yeah.
Plays a very dominant role in the composition. And you can imagine the tree without the root. You can also imagine the tree without the root and without this right-hand trunk, so that you've got this curved shape up here. So a number of options keep getting played with this tree. But as it ages and you get more texture on the bark, it's quite nice the way it is. And over the last 2 or 3 years, it seems to have developed an enormous amount of texture around the trunk here, and character on it, which is great. When this root first developed, it was very plain, very smooth, very.
It was about that much taller. And literally, it's just a tall spindle.
Yeah.
And lots of 3 or 4 trees that come off.
Yeah. So in terms of style, what we've got is we've got a couple of dominant trunks. You know, is this a branch or is it a trunk? Doesn't really matter, but it has a dominant central spine, just as this one does. Then in this branch we get to a point up here where it's difficult to say which is the main leader, and Susan's now split that trunk development, and there are 3 or 4 leaders that are now going upwards. Quite fig-like in that character, and we'll develop a canopy up there out of that, emerging upward-facing branches. It's a better way to finish the top of this tree than it would be with a single leader at the very top of the tree. I'm having a conversation today about a couple of her figs about how to make the growth more compact on figs. And so when they're young, the only really way to get branches down on these sort of multiple branches, secondary branches on these primary branches is to cut them off and build that branching down low. But if you've accepted what the tree has offered you at a later stage when it's older or more developed, you'll end up sometimes with this sort of structure. But then you've got to make the most of it. But as it is, it's a nice proposition, it's an interesting proposition.
What do you think about that low, skinny one, the lowest one? Yeah. It could do it with shrinking, you know.
Squeeze it in tight.
Yeah. Widen and pull back.
It's the other problem that happens with figs is that these lower branches do get left behind. So the tree wants to grow at the top. It's not going to grow this any longer. It's very difficult to get that thickened up. The only way you can do that, do a fix on that, and what I've done is that you're going to select one of these little shoots, little side shoots somewhere, not prune, let it grow, point it upwards, and point it upwards, and over a couple of years you just let that run, and you will get this to be 2 or 3 times thicker. But you'll disfigure the tree for a long time because you have this tail that comes out here. You've got to stake it up there, and you can actually fatten these branches up by doing that, but it takes that level of effort. They won't otherwise do it.
And you lose some of the others to focus on the one.
No, I don't think so. I think if you do that, you'll lose that branch density. And its strength at the moment is the number of branches it's got. If you take any branches off, you end up having great holes in the tree. It doesn't have that many already.
No, you said to choose one of those. One as a leader.
Yeah. So not at the peripheral, but where's the closest to the trunk shoot? There's a little shoot here.
Okay.
And it's the closest, so you let that one go. I mean, if you had one back here, that would be better. Because all of that will get thickened up. It would be nice if there was a shoot somewhere here that you could, but that would have to do. And let it grow, and put a bit of wire on it. It just extends out here so that you know not to touch it, otherwise it'll get tipped off, and let it grow. It'll be very slow at first, but until it gets to about here, then it'll start to pick up speed, and the more space and the higher it gets, the more speed it'll pick up. And you'll get there eventually, and you can do that at other places in the tree. Well, this branch is a bit light, so you can do the same thing with that one. You can find that there's a little shoot like this one here.
Yeah.
Put a wire around it and just take it out there and just let it run. And over time they will thicken those up because otherwise you get a branch above it that's thicker than this one. That's just the wrong way around.
Speak of the devil.
Okay.